It was a bright and sunny day at Greenleaf Meadows where Becky's class had come for a school outing. Everyone was excited as they laid out their picnic blankets and enjoyed sandwiches, cookies, and juice boxes. Becky, the adventurous little girl with curly red hair, had something else on her mind. "Hey, Tom," she exclaimed, her eyes twinkling with mischief as she tugged on the hem of Tom's shirt. "I have a great idea. Let's explore that mysterious cave we saw on the way here." Tom, Becky's best friend, who was always cautious, hesitated and looked over at the cave entrance nestled between the rocky hills. "I don't know, Becky," Mrs. Willows said to stay with the group. He nibbled on his cheese sandwich nervously. "Come on. It'll be just a quick peek," Becky pleaded, holding out her hand to coax him. After thinking for a moment, Tom's curiosity got the better of him. "All right, but we have to be quick." The two friends tiptoed away from their classmates, feeling like secret adventurers. The entrance to the cave was cool and inviting, and as they stepped inside, they gasped. Inside, the cave was enchanting, with shimmering walls that looked like they were sprinkled with glitter. "Wow, it's like a fairy tale," Becky whispered, her voice echoing softly. They explored deeper, and suddenly they heard a peculiar sound. It was coming from further inside the cave. "What was that?" Tom gasped, clutching Becky's arm. "Let's find out. It could be treasure," Becky said eagerly. The sound grew louder as they ventured forward. They turned a corner and found a family of bats chittering and flapping their wings.
"Oh,
"It's just bats," Becky laughed. The duo decided it was time to head back before they were missed. On their way out, they discovered a pool reflecting the cave's walls, like a mirror. "Look at that," Tom pointed, forgetting his worries for a moment. "Let's take a picture and show the class,"
Becky suggested.
They snapped a picture with their small camera. Careful not to disturb the bats, they returned to the picnic. Feeling like brave explorers who had uncovered secrets unknown to their classmates, Mrs. Willow spotted them upon their return. "Where did you two run off to?" she asked gently. Becky grinned and showed her their picture. "We just had a little adventure. The cave was beautiful and a bit noisy." Tom nodded, joining Becky. "We saw bats." Mrs. Willow smiled, understanding their excitement. "Well, next time you should tell an adult. But I'm glad you enjoyed." Becky and Tom giggled as they returned to their picnic. Proud of their secret escapade and glad they had explored Greenleaf Meadows' hidden treasure. Once upon a time in the small village of Lumina, there were two curious best friends named Ben and Lily. Ben was always known for his adventurous spirit, and Lily loved solving mysteries. One sunny afternoon, they heard a tale from their grandparents about the hidden treasure inside the old willow cave deep within the forest. Their eyes shimmered with excitement, and they decided to embark on an adventure. Equipped with a map, backpacks, and tiny flickering candles to light their way, they set off. As they reached the mouth of the cave, the surrounding trees whispered spooky secrets. The cave was dark, and their candles were the only sources of light. They giggled nervously and stepped inside. Little did they know, the cave was home to colonies of mischievous bats. As Ben and Lily wandered deeper, the cave's winding passages seemed never-ending. They followed the map diligently, giggling whenever the candlelight flickered like ghostly shadows on the walls. After what felt like hours, an unexpected gust of wind snuffed out their candles, leaving them in darkness. Lily felt a blend of panic and excitement. Suddenly, a chorus of bats swooped down, fluttering their wings like grand musicians of the night. Ben and Lily shrieked, feeling the rush of small wings and soft fur pass by. They clung to each other, trying their best not to scream. "It's just bats, and they won't hurt us," Lily reminded Ben. "We need to stay calm and use our other senses to find a way out." They listened carefully, feeling their way along the rocky walls. Ben felt a slight breeze, which meant there was an exit nearby. Crawling slowly, they followed the fresh air until they saw a glimmer of moonlight at the end of the tunnel. With renewed energy, they hurried towards it. Bursting into the open air, they stumbled into the moonlit forest, breathing heavily but laughing at their adventure. Though they found no gold or jewels, the thrill of overcoming their fears made them feel richer than any treasure could. From that day on, they became known in Lumina as the brave explorers who dared to wander too deep and return to tell the tale. As the sun began to dip into the horizon, casting long shadows over the sand, Becky realized they were lost. Her face crumpled like a wilted flower, and tears began to roll down her cheeks. Tom, what will we do? How will we find our way home? She sobbed. Tom, only a year older than Becky, embraced her tightly. He was scared too, but he couldn't let his little sister lose hope. He remembered the small roll of kite string tucked in his pocket, a souvenir from their recent adventure into the desert breeze with a kite. Tom took out the kite string and tied one end to a tall cactus nearby. Then he started to walk in circles, gradually expanding the diameter of each new circle he made. Just like when we fly our kite, we'll make a path. If we keep going, we're bound to find water or signs of something familiar. The siblings began mapping paths with a kite string, making sure to keep track of where they'd been. The string was a lifeline, a thread of hope stretched across a sea of sand. It marked their tentative steps forward, reminding them that no matter how lost they felt, they were together. After what felt like forever, their persistence paid off. Tom pointed excitedly to a cluster of palm trees in the distance, an oasis. Look, Becky. Water, he shouted, his voice dancing in the cool evening breeze. Becky's tears transformed into a radiant smile, hope shimmering in her eyes. The siblings rushed towards the oasis, and as they quenched their thirst with the refreshing water, they knew they could trace the kite string back to safety. Once upon a time in the quiet town of St. Petersburg, young Tom Sawyer stumbled upon a great adventure. In the depths of the forest, there was a mysterious cave known to hide many secrets. Tom and his friend Becky ventured into the cave one day, drawn by tales of hidden treasure and mysterious happenings. Little did they know that deep within the cavern stood the fearsome Injun Joe, a man known throughout the town for his wickedness. As they wandered far into the cave, the earth trembled and rocks began to fall. Frantically, Tom and Becky managed to escape through an opening just before the entrance sealed tight, trapping Injun Joe inside. Days turned into weeks, and Tom grappled with whether to share the fate of Injun Joe with the townsfolk. His heart was torn, as the secret weighed heavily on him day and night. Meanwhile, the town wondered what had become of Injun Joe, suspecting foul play or a secretive disappearance. Tom finally decided it was time to reveal the truth, knowing that the cave would remain sealed forever. Gathering the courage he needed, Tom stood before the townspeople in the central square, his voice trembling slightly as he told the tale of the cave. The mystery of Injun Joe has an end, Tom bravely declared. He lies within the sealed cave, where nobody can reach. Gasps echoed throughout the square, whispers turned into questions. Yet, with Tom's confession, the eerie mysteries surrounding the cave slowly began to unravel. The once mysterious cavern became a tale of caution, an adventure and secrecy, marked by a boy's brave revelation. Tom learned that courage sometimes comes from facing the truth. The townsfolk, although saddened by the news, upheld Tom as a hero for revealing what none other could. Over time, the cave grew over with leaves and vines, becoming a part of the legend that would be passed down through generations. Deep in the heart of the little village of St. Petersburg, The story of Tom Sawyer and the sealed cave was a tale that everyone whispered about when they gathered at the church pews or the local store. This is the tale of how the fate of Injun Joe was sealed within the shadows. Tom and his best friend Huck were exploring the dark and mysterious McDougal's cave when they stumbled upon a treasure long spoken of in hushed tones by the townspeople. It shone like 1,000 suns in the dim light. But their adventure took a sinister turn when they realized that Injun Joe, the feared fugitive, sought this treasure too. The boys knew they had to act quickly. Plans were made, and an old doorway was sealed to trap Joe inside the labyrinthine passages of the cave. Days passed, and the entrance remained untouched. No one knew the cave held secrets even more chilling than its shadows. One eerie evening, while sitting on Aunt Polly's porch, Tom gathered his friends around him. The shadows grew long, and the evening breeze whispered through the leaves. "I have to tell you something," Tom began. "Injun Joe is gone forever." Gasping, his friends huddled closer, their faces lit only by the flickering porch lantern. Tom went on, "The cave's been sealed, and Joe's trapped inside. It was the only way to stop him from finding the treasure and causing more harm." The news spread like wildfire throughout St. Petersburg. Some were relieved, others puzzled, and a few mourned the loss of a soul confined to a darkness that would never relinquish its grasp. Weeks turned into months, and the cave was visited by trembling hands and curious eyes, yet never opened. A somber justice had been served, and the town slept a little safer each night. Tom learned the profound weight of secrets and the gravity of actions. He carried with him a bravery few understood and a shared sentiment with the people in the village. Sometimes, silence is necessary to protect those you love. As the town grew older, the legend of Injun Joe and the sealed cave became but a whispered tale. But Tom, with Huck by his side, knew the true story. Together they found the courage to face the dark, holding on to their friendship and the memories forged within the twilight of the sealed cave.